and whatnot and what have you. Holy shit, folks. Yeah, we actually still do the program. Uh, shit was tough. I think we may, we can't go to doctors because they overcharge. And you fuckers are probably going to make us take Biden or Warren, so there will be no Medicare for all, so we won't go to doctors. So I'm just going to assume we were clinically depressed. And but we got a vehicle that got our spirits up, if you will, and we're in front of the microphones with some heat.
Well, to be fair, in my case, I was actually diagnosed with clinical depression like 20 years ago.
Yeah, and me maybe. Fuck, I don't know. Just how many empty beer bottles are in the room?
None. You just cleaned it.
See, but what just happened yesterday? We got the damn vehicle.
Yes.
Spirits are up.
Yes.
Not sitting in somebody's fucking Uber. Which it's not that it's somebody's Uber. It's that, you see, under capitalism, you're gonna have to share all your things.
Yes.
Yeah. Under communism, you gotta share your toothbrush. I don't know nothing about no communism, but I know under capitalism, you do have to share your car if you have one. Right? Like, how many people just get off work at their job and then while they're driving home flip on their Uber and give a couple people a ride just to get a couple bucks on their way home?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's probably so many fucking people that share their cars for capitalism. All right, fuckos. 2 stories coming at you, handpicked by Phoenix Collider.
Yes.
Trying to get back with it.
Yes. All right, so I guess we're going to start with the serious one first, right? That makes more sense, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right, so Texas is considering ending judicial elections because Democrats gained ground. Democracy is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, if we lose, we just won't democratify anymore. We're just going to republicate.
So, voters in Houston, Texas elected 19 black women to local judgeships last year. The new judges, all Democrats, have instituted wide-ranging reforms to the county's bail system. Voters also sent Democratic judges to the state appeals court. A few months later, Republican Governor Greg Abbott, a former Texas Supreme Court justice, suggested he wanted to change the state's system of choosing judges in partisan elections, citing concerns about the court's independence. Abbott has also appointed several judges that voters rejected last year to send to seats on higher courts. This year, Republican legislators introduced a bill supported by Abbott that would amend the state constitution to replace judicial elections with a system in which the governor appoints judges subject to Senate confirmation. Then every 4 years, voters would decide whether or not to keep the judges through a nonpartisan retention election. That's some good democracy right there.
Retention election. I've never heard these words together like that before.
A nonpartisan retention election.
That sounds ugly. Retention. So I know in a retention pond, that's some saved up old raggedy ass water.
Yeah, retention just means saving something.
So an election to keep what we got in the election?
No, but you don't get an election anymore. They pick for you, and then after 4 years, you decide whether or not you want to keep what was chosen for you. Because it's going to be the governor appointing judges approved by the Senate instead of voters confirming judges or voting for judges.
So you get them, and then the judge is involved with ruling on some shit that says, actually, we're not going to have that vote later.
Exactly. So yeah, this is some good democracy. Democratic legislators... Oh, wait, hold on. I missed something here. However, the bill would have ended elections only in counties with more than 500,000 people, targeting urban areas like Houston.
Like, what outlet is this?
This is facingsouth.org.
I've never heard of them, but because when I hear they said elected 19 black judges,
yeah,
and I'm wary of black faces in high places, but they instituted reforms. But I want to see how reform are these reforms.
Oh, I'm sure they're not. It's still Texas, you know. But I mean, that's also I think where we are politically with the spectrum, right? Anything that even remotely helps poor people is fucking communism, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know.
So it's like, and I gotta think, like, for a black person to get themselves up to that position where they could get that job, I'm gonna throw the logic in, because everyone isn't Jay-Z, who still, like, had a working class mother, you know, but like fucking they probably came from a decent paid household, and they
Maybe.
probably look at niggas like me that come from shit that I come from, like, yeah, you got probably actually a little bit more than what you should have. You know, like, whoa, dude, is that a 2015 car you got there and about to be 2020? That's not what you should have. Yeah, so like they're still gonna be classist assholes. Like, don't fall for black faces in high places. Make them prove it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So, however, this bill would have ended elections in counties that only have more than 500,000 people, targeting urban areas like Houston. But this also means the governor would choose judges in larger, more diverse counties, while rural conservative counties can keep choosing their own judges. Because that's democracy.
Yep, and that's why, quite frankly, the whole West Coast should secede. Yeah, really, McMurica should just be broken up. Like, you look at the size of this this part of the continent, because Canada and Mexico are kind of part of the same continent.
Yeah.
But this portion of it that we call McMurica, and look at like Europe, this shit should be more than one nation.
Should be.
Yeah, why the fuck are people in Iowa having a say on what the fuck people in Washington are doing?
Because when they founded the country, they didn't know how big it was yet.
Founded the country, invaded the land. These motherfuckers.
So Democratic legislators have refused to back the amendment bill, which needs support from 2/3 of the legislature to pass. Instead, legislators set up a commission to study. They're investigating again. Legislators set up a commission to study how Texas should choose its judges. The governor and legislative leaders appointed the commissioners last week, and Abbott's choices include a former judge who was affiliated with an organization that promotes judicial merit selection. Many Texans across the political spectrum want to change how judges are chosen, though for different reasons. Some worry that because judges serve relatively short terms, wave elections can lead to high turnover. The legislature has already ended straight-ticket voting starting next year, and supporters of this change believe it will mitigate the turnover resulting from frequent judicial races. So far this century, no Democrat has served on the Texas Supreme Court.
This century?
This century.
Oh, wait a second, but you know what? They're talking about the 2000s.
Yeah, but then also that makes sense though if you follow in line, because the Democrats have been Democrats since what, like the 60s?
I want to say 70s, right? Well, 60s, is that right?
Yeah, 60s.
Am I right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the decade with the boy that got shot?
Yes.
The Irish boy with the bootleggers.
The Irish boy.
Kennedy.
Oh, yes, that was when Kennedy got shot.
That was-
MLK also got shot.
Okay, yeah, I guess that probably was about that time. Yeah. All right.
So, Democrats controlled the court in the 1980s when some justices were criticized for accepting campaign cash from law firms appearing before them. The Democratic High Court also struck down laws backed by big business, which began calling for an end to judicial elections, while also spending millions to elect a court more to their liking. High-profile Republican political advisor Karl Rove helped engineer the GOP takeover, which was complete by 1998.
It's just weird hearing that year. Like, oh, 1998.
Right.
Niggas wearing any Pure Players t-shirts? Like,
yeah, so I just thought that would be interesting to cover. So we made like the slightest bit of progress with ending some cash bail, and the Republicans are having a tantrum and trying to take over the courts via any means necessary, including not allowing people to vote anymore.
And the Democrats are going to roll over with it.
Of course they are.
Like, do we still get our checks?
Yep.
All right, Miss Colored Man.
Yeah.
What the hell else is going on?
All right, I have 2 Florida stories. I don't know what one to do.
Oh, shit. The one furthest north.
I don't really know the geography of Florida like that.
Oh, you should by now.
Where's Palm Harbor?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Damn, we
Nigga,
really...
you fucking live there.
I never left Orlando.
Well, this one's in Orlando.
Orlando sounds like it would be to the north of some place called Palm Harbor.
All right, well, Orlando it is.
Watch, there's somebody that lives down there. It's like, you just fucked up. Why don't I just look at a map of it? You know what? We just pick it. Just Orlando it. Fuck it. I've been out there. I've had people publicly fornicating yell at me. So whatever.
Wait, people yelled at you because they were fornicating in public?
But it was a positive yell. They told me to fuck yeah, rock on.
Okay.
Yes, mid-stroke.
Florida.
All right. Yeah, Florida.
A Florida man has been arrested
Nah, he wasn't.
for
He was detained.
groping a Disney princess at the Magic Kingdom.
And so, like, an actual person dressed up?
Yep.
It's like, this is, so let's not bullshit ourselves. This is a sexual assault story, but then also, what the, wait. You realize doesn't it cost a bunch of money to get into the Disney?
Yep.
Let me see, how much is it? Hey, Siri, how much does it cost to get into Disney's Magic Kingdom?
Okay, I found this on the web for how much does it cost to get into Disney's Magic Kingdom. Check it out.
All right, I will check it out. All right, so I'm checking it out at disneyworld.disneygo.com. There's way too many dots. All right. Let's see. It's not showing me anything.
What?
Well, this is butt work.
Hold on, let me see. Let me look.
I want to know what's happening. We could pause it, but
Yeah, we could.
we're way too professional for that.
Absolutely.
One park per day or park hopper options, ages 10 and up, starting from $109 motherfuck dollars.
There you go.
Platinum Pass, ages 3 and up, starting from $1,119. For a family of 4 per person per day, starting from $102. Jesus.
All right, so like $100.
So you paid $100
Mm-hmm.
to sexually assault
An employee who was on the clock
in a
in
costume.
a costume.
What led up to this? I want to know the story behind it. Like, how did this fuckers, like, what did they do Monday that led to them doing this on whatever day? I hope it was that. I hope that wasn't his Monday.
Authorities say a 51-year-old Florida man groped a Walt Disney worker dressed as a princess during a photo op at the Magic Kingdom. An Orange County Sheriff's Office affidavit says Brian Sherman and his wife
Okay.
posed for pictures. What the
Oh no! I didn't know that. So now we have context as to when just context in general.
Right. So apparently, because it was what, $109 a person. Apparently, they paid $200 for him to get arrested.
And while, I mean, committing an act of rape culture-ism, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
well, and I would consider that simultaneously cheating on your spouse, unless
Yep.
she's in on it. I don't know. Yeah, well, I'm sure there's more words in this article. Let's hear them.
Brian Sherman and his wife posed for pictures with the woman on Saturday afternoon. So this is how he was ending the week, apparently.
Hey.
Sherman said the character was his favorite before putting his arms around her and groping her breasts.
Jesus.
The affidavit says Sherman sat on one side of the woman and his wife was on the other side. Maybe she wasn't on it. I don't fucking know. Co-workers told investigators that the victim wasn't able to move before he groped her and that she was crying when Sherman left the room. Jesus fucking Christ. The Disney photographer provided the pictures that to investigators who used them to identify Sherman, who was booked on battery charges. A lawyer has not been listed in his court records.
Yeah, you know, and again, folks, so lately I haven't been getting emails that our YouTube videos have been getting removed. So I'm, you know, just, you know how I get down. Emperor William, this, that, the other. Yeah, get rid of it. That one wasn't even really that funny. Because you don't go around doing that to
Can't do that.
folks.
You can't do that.
You get emperored.
No, you can't do that.
Or I'd at least like you to.
Is that what we're calling it now? Getting emperored?
I know that has too many syllables, right?
It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, we'll work on it. I don't know what do emperors do? They rule? You can get this ruling.
You can get this ruling, okay.
Yeah.
Or just start like throwing up hand signs, be like the ancient Romans with the gladiators, you know. Just have a live audience vote on the spot. Oh, I'm looking at another website now. So apparently,
Yes.
he was already a registered sex offender.
Okay, so Bill and Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Found guilty of sexual battery by an adult on a victim under age 12 in 1991.
Oh yeah, he needs to get the ruling.
There is no law restricting sex offender access to theme parks once they are off of probation, says news analyst Stephen Kramer.
It's motherfuck Disney.
A theme park always has the right to ask a convicted sex offender or any individual to not return to the park as long as there is not any discrimination at play. What?
Again, folks, when I say Florida is a libertarian wasteland, I say so from, well, these fucking stories, and from having been there studying and analyzing it for 12 years. I don't like to say I was a resident. I always wanted to leave every minute. Yes, ma'am. You're looking for more facts?
Yep.
Fact-based facts?
Yep.
A detail that might be missing?
Yeah, I think that's all of it. They didn't say what she was dressed up as.
Oh, what princess?
Yeah.
Femme.
Yeah, Femme.
Yeah, I think it was that.
I would like to hear more about the wife, actually. Like, is she okay with this? Like...
Yeah. I mean,
she bail him out?
With him. I'm pretty sure she knows that he's in registered need of this ruling.
Oof.
Yeah, I like that. I like that wording.
Registered need of this ruling. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I love stupid bullshit like this.
All right, Miss Colored Ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, do I have a... Oh...
The what?
I forgot that I had taken the internal volume down.
Oh, cool. I love stupid bullshit like this.
All right, we'll figure it out. Okay. So that's about that, yeah? Two stories. We're going to figure ourselves out. We have a small vehicle.
We do have a small vehicle.
We kind of sit shoulder to shoulder now.
Yes.
It's not because the vehicle that you had before, it's 2007 Dodge PT Cruiser vehicular.
Yes.
And it got over 100,000 miles and proceeded to tell us to go fuck ourselves.
Pretty much.
And so now we went on this web service Carvana, which I do not recommend to anyone. And it's, you know, it's not that the service people are bad. It's just that capitalism is bad, and this is one of the places where you're gonna have a worse time.
Yeah.
Unless this is just what you can afford, because the down payment is $600.
Right.
That's boom, one overtime check. You know, that's bang, knock it out. That's a down payment for the poor person. So if you are a poor person,
Well, I wonder if it would have been better, like, we didn't have the option as far as what was available to us, but if we could have gone to the vending machine and just gotten it, like, on the spot, like, that day.
Or if they would just let us purchase as a couple and combine credit.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah, and not just whatever the fuck my shit is. But fucking, yeah, but now it's this vehicular, it's a 2015, so in a couple of months it's 5 years old.
Right.
But you know what? 2015 probably means it came out in 2014. Car companies love doing that shit.
Yeah, like 2014, yeah.
Yeah, so it actually is a half decade old. Was it 52,000 miles on it right now? And yeah, we sit shoulder to shoulder. There's a gang of cup holders. It has a USB port. That's pretty neat.
Yes.
And fuck, I mean, we can go to the damn grocery store.
Right.
Like, we were having a tough time with those fucking Ubers, and I need to send you screenshots of my Uber rides.
Yes.
Because the company said that they will comp them because the vehicle was a week late.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think I only sent you one. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Did you send it to them?
No. He
Oh,
wants them all at once.
okay, all in one bing a dang do.
Yes.
So wait, do they have to be the Uber receipts? Could I just like send them the screenshots of the PayPal transaction that says Uber Technologies?
You could probably do that.
Yeah, because I don't know if Uber. Well, I think Uber lets you see your past rides.
It should.
Yeah, I think that might be a feature up in the top left-hand drop-down menu. I'll have to just take a look and find the outsy. All right. You know what? Let me just. We're not doing stories. I just want to tell you guys some of this. You guys, that's genderfied. You folks, I want to tell you folks some of the shit that I just been glancing at and trying to keep an eye on
Mhm.
while maybe being depressed. I'm not sure. But I want to see all. Yes. Michigan police say marijuana legalization has made their jobs harder. A black person went through law school and passed the bar. That black person had a black baby with them to be sworn in, and the black judge held the baby while swearing in the black new lawyer. What is this? A deputy was drinking and crashed twice, but he kept his job and the county owes him $16,000. That's off Syracuse.com, folks. A hospital worker, black women, maternal death, hospital worker, black women, maternal death, medical apartheid. A hospital worker was fired after wearing a Confederate flag shirt with a noose to a polling station.
Oh.
Yep.
I thought you were gonna have the same one I did about medical bullshit.
Yeah, and a billionaire's spouse donated to the Bernie Sanders campaign, and he's going to bounce that check smooth the fuck back. BART Transit, folks may have seen that video. Some colored feller was eating an illegal sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
and the pig got a little porky with him. But a whole bunch of protesters said that's all, folks, and staged a eat-in at that station. Can you dig it? And what else is this? Another billionaire spouse says she can use the N-word because she knows Alicia Keys.
And also in that same thing called Alicia Keys ghetto, basically. Because she said she was complimenting a black woman, because she doesn't talk like the other niggers, like Alicia Keys, because Alicia Keys sounds ghetto or something. And she says, you don't sound like Alicia Keys or Swizz Beatz. You're very well spoken.
Okay, boomer. And Phoenix Leaders headlines. Or I thought that's what you had. Oh, you're just tweeting on the Twitter. Oh, okay.
I have my own newsfeed on here.
Yeah.
That's like news specifically. So apparently a Catholic hospital almost let a woman die from a miscarriage due to religious restrictions and refused to tell her she qualified for an abortion. Mm-hmm. An 8-year-old girl from Mexico won a math championship by solving 70 math problems in 5 minutes.
From Mexico or in Mexico?
Both.
Oh, damn! They're really not sending their best. All right. Oh, hey, Donald Trump jokes. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. And I think that was about it. I mean, just general pop culture news. Apparently, Robin Crawford, who was in maybe a kind of somewhat sexual, emotional relationship with Whitney Houston, said that they almost ran up on Wendy Williams.
Together?
Yeah. Like, she said something that pissed off Whitney, and so, like, Whitney was like, let's sit outside at the studio and, like, fuck her up when she comes out.
When I think about, we got to remember, yes, we see them as celebrities, pressed and dressed and all that, but that's kind of still a nigga from New York and a nigga from New Jersey.
I mean...
like, if I go back to, if I go back to Washington State and Phoenix Calida comes with me because she wants more of these dad jokes, whatever, fine. She makes decisions that are good, I guess. But, and I end up in a toxic masculinity contest, You got to stop and say, yeah, I've heard the podcast. I've heard them cover stories, but as a nigger from Tacoma and a nigger from Federal Way, someone stepped on someone's shoe in 1968, and it's been on since then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. And Morales landed in Mexico today. So the president from Bolivia who got ousted in the coup that we're pretending didn't happen, even though it's being run by white Christians who are working with the police. Yeah, that one in Bolivia. The president left, and he has landed safely in Mexico, and they have granted him asylum.
White Christians who are working with the police.
Yep.
So the police. On some level.
They're from what I'm reading, I haven't like parsed it all. Yeah, they're actually from other countries. Like there's some Americans involved and whatnot. So yeah.
Like white supremacy's global or something. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a wine cellar, and I'm on at 4 a.m. tomorrow, folks. Well, between 4 and 4:30. I just need to get there, get started, prep machine parts, go in there, and hope that my teammate doesn't stab a box of food with a forklift again.
Whew.
That's a thing that happened today. About 300 pounds of product straight into the garbage. It was goldfish crackers. Now, I'm sure that those forks from that forklift did not touch all the product, because that is floor contact touching food. But when I see us throwing away all that shit, and I'm like, I know it's not real food, but I'm sure a homeless nigga would like a handful.
Right, exactly. Just scrape some shit off the top or something.
Some shit. Yo, you could get like 100 pounds off the top. The forks touch like close to the bottom.
Damn.
Yeah, you could really get most of the box having not touched the forks. But nope, throw it all away because
capitalism.
Yeah, you gotta think. Well, we have GMOs so that no one will starve again. See, that's how it goes. No, is you see anyone starving?
Huh?
No, because we live in a residential area, so we don't actually see them.
I guarantee you the people who are homeless that live in the church park are starving.
Oh, fuck. We don't go down that area much.
No, we don't. Yeah, so there's a church, and they kind of have, like an extra, like, acre of land, and they kind of turned into, like, a little park. It's got some benches and, like, a little courtyard. There's homeless people who just live in there because that's literally the only place they can stay where police can't fuck with them because it's the church's property.
I like how the church lets them stay.
But won't give them
Outside.
houses.
Yeah, like, the church is literally a building with plumbing and heat. And, shit, man, the fucking New Covenant Pentecostal Tabernacle Church that I was forced to attend on Martin Luther King Boulevard and 23rd Street in Hilltop, Tacoma, that church had, like, basically a house upstairs. And the idea was that they would use that for homeless people. The bed made, shit was clean, smelling good. But because they let one homeless person stay there once and they, like, stole something, they're like, nope, no one ever again. So now it's just there. And sometimes the church teenagers go up there to have sex in between services. That's pretty much all that's happening there.
Well, I mean, they could at least, even let niggas sleep on the floor. Come on, it's fucking cold out. It's like 5 degrees right now? And
Yes,
that nigga out there sleeping on a fucking bench.
yes, they're out here enjoying God's splendor.
Right.
And
yeah.
you millennials say there's climate change. It must be warm enough out there.
Okay, boomer.
Or also, folks, remember, I'm an old hip-hop head. If I sound annoying and obnoxious talking about hip-hop, just say, okay, backpacker, and I will know that I've been talking too long. All right? Unlike the boomers, I don't get triggered by being called what the fuck I know I am. Ayy.
Yeah, that's actually, like, my favorite parts of Twitter right now are boomer Twitter, being mad at calling boomers, and then, like, bootlicker Twitter, who's like, it's stupid to hate billionaires. They earned it.
Really?
Like that.
So what you mean to tell me is that whatever billionaire is at the top of McDonald's has made $1 billion worth of burgers with their bare hands. Not
Well,
even gloves. Their hands were so clean that niggas said, make my shit like that. Raw dog, my burger.
Yeah, it's really funny watching it. That's a lot of people coming out. Because ever since Bernie was like, we don't need billionaires, tax them, everyone's like flipping their shit. Because they're Bernie bro, or anti-Bernie bro. So now they're like trying to justify billionaires to like own the bros. It's fucking weird. A bunch of them are Kamala Harris supporters.
But the funny thing is, yo, they're billionaires. They already own the bros and you. They own it all. What the fuck? Like, drop the euphemism, chief.
Mm,
All right. That's winecellarmedia.com.
yes.
All right. If you're okay with me being a backpacker, you can check out patreon.com/winecellarmediafund. Hold it the fuck down. And there's also paypal.me/PhoenixandWilliam. Stuff and things. Please be as safe as possible wherever you are. My back doesn't hurt as much as it did. That's right.
Bye.
All right. YouTube, you need to get on from around here now. Come on.
So the inserts are working.